Yo. Yo. Fucking hell. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to round 7 and 8 in our F122 RGL League. Please, again, let me know in the comments if audio is fine. I think it's not, but please let me know immediately. Like if something's really dodgy, or like an echo or whatever. Like when it's shit, tell me please. I'm gonna switch headsets because I'm using my new ones, and there might be shit in the beginning. I need to sort stuff out. But please let me know so I can switch early on if we don't have a disaster ahead of us. So tonight we're driving in Abu Dhabi first. Since the beginning of the season, we have our full-time drivers plus the AI teammates here. King Eskimo is leading the race, which means he was classified last in our last race. We got a reverse grid pole position system activated, so Eskimo starting in P1, followed by Shermanator, Hamilton, Albon, King, Chinchilla, Max Verstappen, Casto, Charles Leclerc, Mick Schumacher, Fernando Alonso, Harvey, Stroll, Tiny, Norris, Gasly, Sevilliers, and D'Cunha. Everyone who's watching, please let me know in the comment section if audio is fine. I can't hear myself, so I can't tell you if it's fine or not. If there's anything like crazy sounds in the background, an echo, or whatever it is, please let me know. Because if you don't, then you give me the feeling that everything's fine. And if it's shit in the end, this will have consequences. Like the FIA always does. Let's have a quick look at the tire selection. Eskimo is starting on medium tires. From P2 down to P7, everyone else is on softs. Charles Leclerc starting on mediums. Harvey, his teammate, also on mediums. And then our last three, Pierre Gasly, Sevilliers, and D'Cunha, also starting on the medium compound. Everyone else starts on soft tires, and we have 15 laps ahead of us. Eskimo starting from P1, Shermanator and P2, 5 red lights are out. A little bit of wobbly action here. Eskimo losing big time at the start. Albon with a great one, and then played flying over there. Verstappen and Eskimo in a fight. Verstappen claims P3, Eskimo down to P4. Under attack from Hamilton. They're all on softs, Eskimos on mediums. That is crucial here. The grip levels are just different. Chinchilla getting P6 against Charles Leclerc. Now falling back to P7. It's a sprint up into our first chicane. Down the long first DRS straight. DRS always activated. On lap 3, on the first 2 laps, it's just down to skill and ERS, of course. Eskimo still in P4. Albon still in P1. And Harvey, I think, lost a lot of places. Let's have a quick look. So Albon and Verstappen both make up 3 positions. Eskimo, of course, losing 3. And then we have Charles Leclerc making up 2, Sevilliers making up 7. Harvey claiming P11 back. So no improvement. Oh, he has an end plate missing. It's the left front wing end plate that is completely gone. So he has a lot of understeer. Maybe he stays out, but he started on the medium, so his only chance is to pit for hards or go for softs. and hope for a safety car, but he is coming in. He is pitting. Together with, is it... no, who is that? Who's in the pits with him? It's Casto, because why not? Also getting a fresh wing. Maybe they collided. Who knows? But it's still Alex Albon in the lead, followed by Verstappen in P2. The gap already 1.6 seconds, which means Verstappen is not in Albon's DRS. Shermanator close behind Verstappen, only half a second in P3. Eskimo around a second behind, and then we have Chinchilla, Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc into the chicane. Chinchilla on the inside. Yeah, mate, that's always tricky. Oh, he's losing the car. He's losing it big time. That's the hit in the wall. Hopefully no rear wing damage, but that was crazy. Chinchilla not out of the race, but out of the top 10 for sure. Which brings up Servilius up to P5 now. 11 positions gained. We're just on lap 2 of 15. That man's on a mission. Alonso and Leclerc having a little fight, which is not too good for Tiny, to be fair, because he's losing a lot of time here. Speaking about losing time and Tiny, this is a massive fucking spin. Chinchilla catches him now, so Tiny down to P15. Servilius with the fastest lap on medium tires. Pierre Gasly P13 behind Stroll and D'Cunha. They're fighting. D'Cunha on the outside against Stroll. They touch, but D'Cunha is managing to get into P11. 6 positions earned already. Good job by him. And Shermanator lost a lot of time to Max Verstappen. Over 2 seconds. Servilius in P4. Hamilton P5. Eskimo down to P6. Little reminder for everyone who's watching, please let me know in the comments if audio is fine. If not, please let me know. I'm going to switch headsets then. If there's anything like an echo, crazy sounds in the background, please let me know so we can switch immediately. Max Verstappen 1.1 seconds behind Alex Albon, and Servilius is stalking Shermanator through sector 2 and 3, and he's getting him. Shermanator running wide, and Servilius claiming P3 now. He's gained 13 positions within 3 laps. That's massive. The gap is now 3 seconds to Max Verstappen. But with clean air, he should be able to gain a little bit of time. Good thing for him is Eskimo has a gap of 2.5 to Shermanator, who's pitting now. So maybe Shermanator has damage. Let's have a quick look if the Alfa Romeo crew will put on a fresh wing too now. His lap 4 is a pretty early pit stop. That looks like a fresh wing for him. It is a fresh wing for him. Now we know the reason why he was so slow and lost 2 seconds to Max Verstappen. But Sevilla is not really gaining a lot. Now he's gained like half a 10. Castro with the fastest lap, but he's at the back of the field together with Harvey. He's probably going to catch Shermanator now, who's coming out of the pits. Let's have a quick look here. Oh, Harvey spinning. That's unusual, but he's on hard tires. And Castro is 1.8 seconds behind Shermanator now. Sector 1, of course, yellow flags because of Harvey's spin. That is not helping him by getting back onto the podium in this race, of course. Mick Schumacher overtaking Fernando Alonso. And Charles Leclerc overtaking Alonso and Schumacher. And oh, that might be a problem for Dean. D'Cunha has an issue, and that's called a spin. Might be a skill issue, but it's definitely a spin issue. P13 for him. Now he's gained 4 positions, but after gaining over 6 positions, that's a bit disappointing. But I think he doesn't have any damage, so it's just head down, keep rolling, and maybe hope for a safety car. You never know. Lewis Hamilton pretty close behind King Eskimo down the pit straight. And Sevilla's gained over half a second on Max Verstappen on the last lap. So he's on a hunt now. His tyres are working now on lap 5 of 15. I think Max Verstappen is on softs. So that means, yeah, Sevilla's on mediums. They're working now. These tyres are on temperature. They're in their working window. And the softs start to go down a little bit. Not a lot, by a little bit. From lap to lap, it gets worse. And Hamilton is really close behind Eskimo with DRS only 2/10. Eskimo's lights flashing, which means his ERS levels are low. He needs to have a great exit here because Hamilton is close. He's really close. That's only 2/10 of a second. And Hamilton is using ERS and DRS. So Eskimo needs to stay on the inside and defend that position now. Great job by him. Hamilton not able to overtake him. And Max Verstappen overtakes Alex Albon. And while they're fighting, Sevilla got closer and closer. He's only 3/10 of a second behind Alex Albon now. This is the big chance for him, but at the same time, he needs to make sure not to lose a lot of time behind those two. He's using ERS. Is he going down the outside here? But Albon braking late. Oh, they touch, and that's losing Sevilla's now time. Of course, he's gaining second place now, but he lost over a second to Verstappen, so he's not in the DRS. And Alex Albon is in Sevilla's DRS. Oh, Albon with a sketchy moment here, and Sevilla's needs a great exit and basically all of his ERS to get that one done now. 3-second time penalty for Tiny. Sevilla is able to defend from Albon and also gain 2/10 on Verstappen. Does he have the DRS now? Let's have a look. It's not there, but luckily for him, Albon is not close enough. And Lewis Hamilton and Eskimo are fighting. Eskimo has DRS, so he should be a bit quicker. Charles Leclerc right behind. He's going for Hamilton. Eskimo getting P4 back. And Hamilton and Leclerc fighting. Hamilton losing out here. Charles Leclerc with a beautiful move around the outside for P5 in this race. Followed by Alonso, Schumacher, Gasly, Norris, Stroll, Tiny, D'Cunha, Castro, Harvey, Chinchilla, and Shermanator. And Charles Leclerc is attacking Eskimo. That one is really close now. What's happening now? Is Eskimo pitting or is he staying out? He's staying out, but there's a Haas pitting. That's Mick Schumacher and also Lance Stroll coming into the pits now. And we jump on board with Sevilla. 3/10 behind Max Verstappen. Could this be the change of the lead after the DRS straight? Nice short shift up to 4th gear. Accelerating completely out, using the DRS button, none of his ERS because he doesn't have a lot left, but the DRS is helping. Is he staying behind him? He's staying behind him to get him on the next straight. Get a good exit. Verstappen has to take the inside line. He's preparing the exit here. That's a good exit. Oh, he's getting him now. Now he's using ERS. He's going for it. Now he's attacking Max Verstappen for the lead. Around the outside now for the next left-hander. And that should seal the deal. But Max Verstappen is still there. They touch. Oh, my God. And Verstappen touches Sevilla's on his rear tire. Almost makes him spin. And that's now a move that's not really good for Sevilla's because Shermanator is a ghosted car because he's lapped. But he's driving inside of Sevilla's, which is really confusing. And like an unwritten rule is if you're a lapped car, you don't do that. Well, he's backed out of it now. Sevilla's still behind Max Verstappen, who's pitting now, and he cost him over 2 seconds with that maneuver there. But Sevilla is now eventually in the lead on lap 8 of 15 on his medium tyres. Close gap between Charles Leclerc and Eskimo again. Is Eskimo pitting now? No, he's staying out. The Alpine and Red Bull, which is Alonso. Oh, it's not Red Bull, it's a McLaren. It's Alonso and Norris who are pitting now. Max Verstappen, of course, at the exit of the pits now. And Eskimo back in P2, fighting for position here. Down to 11% of ERS. Charles Leclerc on 30. And he will have the DRS. Is he maybe going for a move now? Eskimo down the inside to defend the position, switching back to the racing line to have the cleaner line now. Well, it seems like Charles Leclerc is close enough to go for the overtake. Look at that. That is Hamilton down the inside. Charles Leclerc shaking and Hamilton is going for the special one here. Oh, Eskimo completely missing the corner and he has to compromise his exit here. Will he make it in P2? into the next left-hander. Charles Leclerc with DRS. Lewis Hamilton with DRS in the slipstream of Eskimo, who's staying in P2. Hamilton down the inside, almost touching Eskimo. And Hamilton claiming the position back against Leclerc. Sevilla staying out for another lap. And this is weird now. I think he has Shermanator now in front of him, who really overtook himself there. But yeah. Oh, no. Tiny. Another spin. And Eskimo is now finally in the pits. Together with Charles Leclerc. 3-second time penalty for De Kenya. Hamilton staying out. So we have a Merc double lead right now with Silverleaf in P1 and Lewis Hamilton in P2. Now comes down to the pit stop of Eskimo. He needs to go out now to stay ahead of Charles Leclerc. He executes that. Beautiful. Charles Leclerc already pushing. Good for Eskimos. He's on soft. Charles Leclerc is on hards. But the AI always has OP traction. So Eskimo needs to fight to get his tires onto temperature and into the grip levels. While Charles Leclerc is already pushing. Sector 1, yellow flags. That is Chinchilla. Big spin for him. On the exit off the left-hander, coming into the long and quick right-hander. And Sevilliers is now coming into the pits for his pit stop for soft tires. That's a good pit lane entry. Let's see if the pit stop is working fine for him. Soft tires are ready. And he's right there. Soft tires for him. Lewis Hamilton coming into. He needs to go for medium tires. But we've seen it a lot of times with Hamilton. He's switching to the hard tires. So let's see what happens now with Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton is going from softs to hards. Here we go again. Gasly to hards. Mate, this is not normal. De Cunha should be going from mediums to softs. And here we go. Here we have it. Switching from mediums to softs. Sevilliers is in P3. And my oh my. Casto is all of a sudden in P1. Followed by Max Verstappen and Sevilliers. Sevilliers on fresh softs. Casto on old mediums. It shouldn't be a big fight, but it should be a fight. Max Verstappen going for the overtake against his teammate. Not completing it. DRS for Sevilliers. What is happening now? Oh my god, he's so much quicker. He's using the DRS. That's a double overtake. That's a masterpiece. Sevilliers from P3 to P1. Was I too early here? Oh my god, he just made it. Double overtake by Sevilliers. Yellow flags, Chinchillas out of the race in the pit lane. So there shouldn't be a safety car right now. And Sevilliers reclaimed the lead after his pit stop with a beautiful double overtake on both Red Bulls. Making it even more beautiful for him to take the lead. And Max Verstappen now in P2, followed by his teammate Casto in P3. Harvey in P5, already with a 10-second gap to Casto. And the closest battle on track right now, I think, is Stroll and Norris. But that's AI, so it's not really too crazy. We're not going to jump in for that. Well, let's have a look. Who still needs to pit? Bloody no one. No one needs to pit, but we see that Hamilton and Gasly both undercut Eskimo, or overcut respectively, with Hamilton, and Charles Leclerc, who did a clear undercut, didn't make the move there. Well, he did make the undercut. That's my fault. They pitted at the same time. But Charles Leclerc is half a second behind Eskimo. Tiny now overtook Eskimo for P12. Lance Stroll up in P6 against Mick Schumacher. And Casto's going for an overtake against his Red Bull teammate Max Verstappen. Going for P2 here, and he got it done. That's P2 for Casto. Sevilla is leading the race comfortably, 2.5 seconds ahead of Castor. With the fastest lap 2 now, 26 flat, and that gap only might open up even more because he's on fresh softs, Castor on old mediums, and that would be, to be honest, that would be a sweet recovery for Castor. He started pretty much at the back, needed to pit very, very early because of wing damage, but the question is, will those medium tires hold until the end of the race? And it's still 3.5 laps to go, and Abu Dhabi, especially sector 3, is not very nice to your tires. Good thing for him is Max Verstappen is out of DRS against him, and there's no more pressure right now. Albon is in P4, 2 seconds behind Verstappen, and 6.8 seconds behind Albon is Royal Harvey. On which tires is Harvey? He's on hard, so he will finish the race easily on those tires. Tiny overtaking Gasly for P11. Stroll, Mick Schumacher still having their little battle for P6. And Lando Norris joins the party. Around the outside, P6 for Lando Norris, P7 Mick, P8 Lance, P9 Alonso. This is a proper fight here. We still have Sevillas in the lead, gaining 15 positions from the start, and the extraordinary thing is he gained 12 positions within 3 laps, within the first 3 laps. Yellow flags in sector 1. That's a blue car. That might be Eskimo, or doing wrong here. Nah, that might have been Eskimo, got just overtaken by D'Cunha. So Sevillas is leading the race in P1 while we have a 3-way battle here with Alonso, Mick and Stroll. Castor in P2, Verstappen in P3, but still close enough to get into DRS very soon. Albon P4, Harvey P5, Lando Norris in P6. Now with a 2-second gap to Alonso, who's fighting with Mick and Stroll for P7. Hamilton in P10, Tiny in P11 with a 3-second time penalty, who's really close behind Hamilton now. Sector 2, yellow flags. That's an AlphaTauri. And that was D'Cunha, who got re-overtaken by Eskimo here. And we have a proper fight between Lewis Hamilton, Tiny and Pierre Gasly for P10. Tiny low on ERS, so he might wait until he has the DRS and Hamilton can't counter-attack him because he's low on ERS. He has to do it on DRS levels only. Hamilton is on 31% of ERS, so Tiny needs to time it perfectly. Harvey made a mistake. He's now 9.5 seconds behind Albon. That was 6.5 before. And Tiny is letting Hamilton actually go to get the DRS on this straight. He's managing his positioning here beautifully. He needs to, because he doesn't have any ERS left. But now he seems to attack Hamilton. Down the inside for the left-hander. Hamilton still stays there, I think. Yeah, but Tiny has him. That is P10 for Tiny now. Eskimo with a 3-second time penalty now. To be fair, that won't affect his race result because Shermanator is 25 seconds behind him. And Tiny desperately tries to create a gap between himself and Hamilton. 0.8 of a second right now. He needs 1 second or more until the detection line. It's now 9/10. He needs to push hard. He's using ERS now. He wants to have him outside. And it's now over a second. Just over a second. We're going to see if Lewis Hamilton will open up his wing. And he doesn't. So Tiny made it. He might be safe for P10 here. As Civiliers is going around the last sector to bag in his win here in Abu Dhabi. Last few corners, the gap is 3 seconds to Casto. Latifi corner has to make it cleanly. And there we go, last corner on board with Civiliers for a massive win in Abu Dhabi. Civiliers is your race winner. Casto in P2, Verstappen in P3, Albon coming home in P4, followed by Harvey, who's around 10 seconds behind him, who might have damage again. Can't see anything, but Lando closed the gap rapidly. P5 for Harvey, P6 for Lando, Alonso coming home in P7, Lance Stroll in P8, Mick Schumacher in P9, Tiny in P10, but Gasly takes P10 because of the penalty. Lewis Hamilton overtakes him too, so Tiny down to P12, Charles Leclerc P13, and now De Cunha in the Latifi corner. Penultimate one for him now, followed by the last right-hander, and that is P14 for De Cunha in Abu Dhabi. Eskimo out of Latifi corner now, penultimate one, coming into the last one. Oh, he lost his wing. Okie dokie. That is massive, but he finished the race in P15, which means I think 1 point for Eskimo, and he will start in P2 for the next race. So not too bad. Shermanator in P16 now around the last corner, finishing that race and securing pole position for the next one. P16 here in Abu Dhabi. Civiliers is your driver of the day. No surprise, he gained 15 positions, 12 of those within the first 3 laps. Massive start, massive first few laps. He started on mediums, so he completely made them work from the get-go. And that's a more than deserved win for him. P1 Civiliers, followed by both Red Bulls, Casto in P2 and Max Verstappen in P3. As always, some fake champagne. Celebrating a massive win here. And here we go, we have our final results. Civiliers in P1, also with the fastest lap, followed by Casto and Max Verstappen completing the top 3. Then Albon, Harvey, Norris, Alonso, Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Pierre Gasly in P10. Then Hamilton, Tiny, Charles Leclerc, De Cunha, Eskimo, Shermanator, and our only DNF is King Chinchilla here in race number 7 in Abu Dhabi. The stream will, of course, continue. I will be just off mic for the next 5 to 10 minutes until we start with our second race of the night. Round number 8 here in the RGL season on F1 22. And again, little reminder for everyone who's watching, please let me know in the comments if audio is working fine. I'm on a new headset, so there might be some issues. Please let me know so I can fix them immediately and you have a good experience listening to this. Here we go again for second race of the night, round number 8 in our RGL season here in Monza. The sun is shining, so it's dry. Good for all the drivers who are afraid of a wet race, which is never really enjoyable around Monza after, like on the speed temple of Monza. It's great to have a dry track to get all the power down. It's also better to watch with DRS to get some overtakes in on that main straight. But we'll see how it goes. Especially turn 1 at the start is always a tricky section. So we are lucky enough to watch those drivers do their work. Just have a blast. As normal, we have a formation lap now. Shermanator is starting in P1, followed by Eskimo, D'Cunha, Charles Leclerc, Hamilton, Gasly, Schumacher, Stroll, Alonso, Norris, Harvey, Albon, Verstappen, Casto, Severius, Chinchilla, and Tiny in P17. We'll also have a quick look at the tyre choices, and no surprise, everyone's starting on softs. Only Tiny in last place has chosen the medium tyres to start on. Could be a great choice, but could also be the worst one ever, because you never know what happens on lap 1 if a safety car is already coming out and everyone's pitting for mediums. Tiny needs to go for the hards. And that's not really enjoyable, but we're just painting the devil on the wall here. First of all, something needs to happen at the start. And on this formation lap, Eskimo is basically getting hunted down by D'Cunha. Who's warming up his tyres from the left side to the right side of the track, slowing down a bit to get closer to the pack behind. Eskimo's taking a very wide line here on this formation lap to warm up his left front and left rear tyre. They will now be forward up on the grid for the race start here in Monza. So everyone who just tuned in or is here still, please let me know in the comments if audio is fine, if there are no nasty sounds in the background, if the mic is working, no echo, we can fix it immediately. But if not, everything's fine. We have 5 red lights going out right now. Shermanator starting on P1 here in Monza. And there's Charles Leclerc coming through in the Ferrari, having a great start, switching down to the inside immediately. And we'll have a look what's happened here. Oh, first spin, that's D'Cunha getting taken out, turned around, but the car's behind him. That seems to be the only big one here, as they're going slow through turn 2. But we're coming up to the second chicane, and Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly both attacking Shermanator early on here. On board with Charles Leclerc side by side with Pierre Gasly. Oh, they touch in. Eskimo and P4 not close enough to get caught in this, and Charles Leclerc and Gasly going side by side through Lesmo 1, and Gasly has the position. P2 for the man in the AlphaTauri, followed by Charles Leclerc, Eskimo, Severius, Stroll, Harvey, Hamilton, Norris, and Severius, to be fair, made up a lot of positions again. 10 positions! We're just at the end of Sector 2, and he's already gained 10 positions. That man is on fucking fire tonight. Severius up to P4. My god, this man has some pace. That's probably the magic of the 0-0 wing action here. Eskimo's losing positions. Oh, there might have been a spin or something. Eskimo with problems. But he's not pitting, so there is no damage at all. P15 for him, but now... Oh, there's someone pitting. That's Chinchilla pitting from P17. And Charles Leclerc still fighting with Pierre Gasly for P2. Castro slowly but surely climbing up the ladder from P14 to P12. Gained 2 positions. Mick Schumacher lost 4 positions. Eskimo and D'Cunha lost 13. D'Cunha got turned around into turn 1 at the start. And Eskimo lost his car in the last corner in Parabolica and lost multiple positions because of that. And Sevilliers is climbing up close to Pierre Gasly, but Harvey is behind him. And Harvey, let's not forget Harvey. He had a shit race at Abu Dhabi, to be fair, but he wants to make it right. Fast left for him. He is using ERS. He's going side by side with Sevilla into turn 1. Sevilla's braking late around the outside where he clips Gasly. This trap behind him. And Harvey on the outside will have the inside. Now we switch on board with Sevillas trying to go around the outside. Sir, I won't do that. Not against AI. And Harvey overtakes Sevillas and Gasly braking very aggressively into turns 3 and 4. And Sevillas down to P5 now. But there's nothing lost right now. Only Harvey overtook him. He needs to overtake Gasly with DRS on this or the next lap. Sector 1, yellow flags. That is D'Cunha, I think. Yeah, massive issue for him. And Harvey is now up to P3, gained 8 positions. Sevilla is still 10 up. So nothing's lost here. Side by side with Gasly into Ascari around the outside. Massive move for him. But Gasly is pretty aggressive here. They're both on similar levels of ERS. But Gasly will have the DRS on Sevilla, so this could be a tricky one into turn 1. On board with Gasly now, who will have the effect of DRS, and he's using his ERS. He's going for the move probably. Sevilla is probably using his ERS. Yeah, he does. Now defending the inside. Gasly braking late and deep. But Sevilla is making the corner on the inside. Defending P4 from Gasly, and that's 11 positions up for him. And now his job needs to be to close the gap to Harvey as soon as possible, because right now Harvey is trapped behind Charles Leclerc and Shermanator in P3. You see there's how late Harvey can brake, and that's Sevilla's chance to catch up. Because through decimals 1 and 2, Harvey is trapped behind Charles Leclerc, and Sevilla's needs to make up that time right now. But instead, he's losing a 10. He needs to make it clean and clinical. Harvey is going for the overtake on his teammate and maybe on Shermanator too. What a switchback. P1 for Harvey. What a move. What a move. P1 for Harvey. P2 Shermanator. P3 Charles Leclerc. And Sevilla is still 2 seconds behind that group. But Shermanator will have the DRS on Harvey. 70%. Harvey on 45. He's not using his ERS. Only the DRS. And here comes Charles Leclerc on the inside. And now he's using his ERS. What happened? So he's switching. Down the inside. They touch. Charles Leclerc on the inside now. Good traction for him. And Shermanator is going for attack against Harvey. But that might have been forced just by Charles Leclerc pushing for position. Sevilla finally gained half a second on the group in front of him. And now Harvey can push. Clean air for him. That is D'Cunha in Ascari with a mistake. And Shermanator will just have the DRS on Harvey, and he needs to have it against Charles Leclerc. Chichilla out of this race, DNFing in the pit lane, so there won't be a safety car. And because Shermanator and Charles Leclerc both had DRS, Sevillier's lost time here. And Charles Leclerc, he's on a mission. That man is coming around the outside now against Shermanator, but Shermanator dominating the position for now. On the next straight, Charles Leclerc will have the DRS again, and Harvey and Shermanator are pitting. So Charles Leclerc is in P1, Sevillia is in P2, Gasly P3, and Verstappen, Alonso, Hamilton, Norris, they will all come through. No, they won't, because who's pitting? No, they came through, yeah. It's Stroll and Schumacher who are pitting. And that's critical now. Where does Harvey come out? Is he in traffic? It looks like he has clean air. He has a lot of clean air in front of him on fresh medium tires. He needs to make them work. The first lap always is a bit sketchy because the tires are cold. But he needs to get the temperature in as soon as he can to make that undercut against Sevilliers as a defensive move work. On board with Norris now. Is behind Hamilton, only 0.2 of a second. Is he going down the inside? Hamilton defending, but Norris just putting the nose in, but not fully committing for the move. And Eskimo's out. Eskimo's out of this race in Ascari. Is that a safety car? And will Charles Leclerc and Sevilliers will have an advantage because of that? Sevilliers is pitting. He needs to pit to cover Harvey, but is the safety car coming out now? If the safety car is coming out, he's gaining a lot of time here. Let's see what will happen. Tiny and Ticunia are also out of this race. What is happening? There is no safety car, so Harvey will probably be in the lead. Where is he? He's coming down the main straight now. Charles Leclerc and Sevilliers just coming out of the pits, and Harvey is still in P1. But Sevilliers closed the gap to Charles Leclerc, so he's right behind him now. But yes, Shermanator behind him, who just pitted. His tires are already on temperature, and he's really close. Sevilliers needs to be careful on the throttle and into the braking zones. Harvey already with a 3-second gap to Charles Leclerc. It seems like he has it in the bag, but it's still 6.5 laps to go. And let's not forget Castro. He's in P5. 3-second time penalty for Sevilliers. That one is massive. That is massive. Now he needs to attack for everything. For lap times and for positions. Because he has Shermanator and Castro really close behind him. He needs to go for a move on Charles Leclerc right now and bring time between himself and Leclerc. He's using ERS and DRS. But will he make it? He is quick. He's going down the inside. He's on the grass. Very aggressive. Charles Leclerc putting the nose in. Oh, and Sevilliers lost an end plate on the right hand side. He lost an end plate. Shermanator. Big wobble for him on the exit. Castro taking the position. P4 for him. Me scusi. That's a big one for Sevilliers. 3-second time penalty. Damage to the right side of his wing. He's probably running on 0-0 wings because like he won't feel anything of that. Only in Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2 now. But that's critical for him. He needs to push, and at the same time he needs to be really careful to not bin it and send his car into the wall. Charles Leclerc is coming back at Sevilliers down the inside. He's backing off for the moment. Castro really close, but not able to overtake him. And Shermanator now again really close behind Castro, using his ERS. Castro too, because he realizes Shermanator is that close that it could be fucking dangerous for him. That's a big fight here. Ed Castro is going for a move against Charles Leclerc on the inside. Sevilla is moving a little bit. Charles Leclerc coming back at Castro. But Castro has the position. That's P3 for him. And Charles Leclerc and Shermanator are battling for P4 now. Yellow flag, sector 2. That's a Merc. That's Hamilton. Hamilton is out of this race. Hamilton DNF'd. Oh, it's Shermanator around the outside here against Charles Leclerc. What a beautiful move by him. P4 for Shermanator. A sexy move by him. Brings him one step closer to the podium positions. Let's not forget, Sevillas has a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial in the end. It's only 2.8 seconds between him and Shermanator right now. And Castro's attacking really hard on Sevillas here. Of course, Sevillas has wing damage, so Castro's quick in every corner because he has the grip and the arrow left to do that. He will probably realize that it's easier to take him with DRS already down the inside, much more grip levels. And with DRS and a little bit of ERS, that move should be done now. But Sevillas is still defending. He's on the inside. Castro going around the outside now. We're on board. Breaking deep around the outside. Sevillas is defending the position side by side. They're leaving each other enough room. But Castro has the position. And Sevillas is down to P3. All that Sevillas needs to focus on is defending that. But Shermanator makes a mistake. He's in the gravel on the exit of turn 2. And he's in last place all of a sudden. And that's the only thing Sevillas was hoping for. Now the gap to P4, Pierre Gasly, is 4.5 seconds. And Charles Leclerc also lost positions. He might have been in a fight there with Shermanator, and they both lost positions and time. Harvey still in the lead on lap 10 of 13, 7.5 seconds ahead of Castro. Himself is a second ahead of Sevillas with a 3-second time penalty, and Gasly in P4, 5 seconds behind Sevillas, attacked by Max Verstappen, followed by Alonso, Leclerc, Norris, Stroll, Schumacher, Albon and Shermanator in P12. 2.5 laps to go, and Harvey's comfortably in the lead. 7.3 second gap. That is Shermanator. Shermanator's out of this race. Will there be a safety car? Sometimes this game is absolutely bonkers. Lap 11 of 13. What will happen? Will we see green flags? Or maybe virtual safety car? You never know. You just never know with this game. But it seems like it will be green in a bit. It is green, so Harvey can have a relaxing inhale and exhale. The gap 7.4 seconds to Castro in P2. Sevillas 2.5 behind Castro in P3. Needs a 3-second gap to Gasly, and at the moment he has it. 4.95 seconds to Gasly, who's been stalked by Max Verstappen. Only 4.5 tenths behind him. Lap 12 of 13. And Verstappen is getting closer to Gasly. Both are using ERS, but Verstappen has the DRS. Will he go around the outside, braking now, going deep, but they're both going pretty deep here. Verstappen on the inside, they touch a little. That makes Max Verstappen's car uncontrollable, so Pierre Gasly stays in P4, and that brings Alonso back on the table, only 8 tenths behind Verstappen. One and a half laps to go. Harvey still in the lead, 6.6 in front of Castro. He's losing a bit of time, but he's probably just controlling the race. saving his tyres, not making any mistake, just bringing that race home. Harvey's now in Parabolica. Going over the line, and that is the last lap for those drivers here. Harvey on his last lap of this race. 6.9 is the gap to Casto. Oh, Gasly! What's Gasly doing? Is he letting go? Is he letting Max go and now attacking him? What was that? Is that 200 IQ level? He's not having the DRS. There must have been a mistake. He tries down the inside, but Max has the position. Gasly going down the inside. Oh my god. That man is so good. He's getting the position back. He makes a mistake, doesn't have the DRS, but still gets it done. Max around the outside now, both using ERS, and Max is so quick in a straight line. P4 for him, down the inside now, into turns number 3 and 4, and Max Verstappen has the position now. Gasly right behind, 33% ERS left. Max around 40. Gasly will have the DRS, but it seems like Gasly has an issue. Gasly has a problem. Maybe wing damage, whatever it is, he has a problem. And Alonso's right behind him. Alonso getting closer in the slipstream. Gasly on the inside. Oh, Alonso's taking him. He's taking him. Alonso up to P5. What a move by the Spaniard. Harvey winning this race comfortably. P1 for Harvey in Monza. Castro coming over the line in P2. Sevillas in P3. But what a fight we had here with Verstappen, Gasly and Alonso on the last few meters. Lloyd Harvey getting the driver of the day, finishing in P1 in his Ferrari, bringing home glory back to Monza. And he can now celebrate on the podium with the Tifosi. Doing a little jockey dance here. P1 for Harvey, P2 for Castro, P3 for Sevillas. Some fake champagne for everyone, and here we have our final results. Harvey in P1 with the fastest lap, Castro in P2, Sevillas in P3 completing the podium, then followed by Verstappen, Alonso with a late move on Gasly in P6, then Charles Leclerc, Lando Norris, Mick Schumacher, Stroll in P10, Albon, Shermanator, DNF on the penultimate or last lap, and then Hamilton with the DNF, Eskimo, Tiny, D'Cunha, and Chinchilla. After a crazy race in Abu Dhabi, we had a spectacular one here in Monza, especially with the AI drivers going fully at it, fully committing. Great fight between Verstappen, Gasly and Alonso. But it seemed like Gasly had a little problem with his car there. He was fighting it so hard. Still managed to get P6. But a little bit unfortunate, of course, because he wasn't a fight for P4. But sometimes it is what it is. You just have to take it. It's definitely better than DNFing together with your teammate in Australia. Seems like the game is not loading, so that means I'm going to say goodbye to you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for also commentating. I just saw the comments. Thank you very much. I wish you a great Sunday night, a great week ahead. Stay healthy, and we'll hear from each other next Sunday again for rounds number 9 and 10 here in the RGL season on F1 22.